What is your arm action in running? Now, everybody for the most part knows this. In long distance running, you keep a 90-degree angle in your elbow and you move your arms back and forth in a straight line. In other words, hand comes forward, directly back. In sprinting, it's a little bit different. You don't hold that 90-degree angle. You straighten the arm out as it comes back. So in other words, you want a straight arm when the leg is in contact with the ground. Your leg has stopped, so in essence, now you stop the arm. This is keeping it in sync. But if you keep the arms moving back and forth, you are going to disrupt your running form. The arms coordinate with the legs. The legs do the running. The arms do not do the running. But yet you'll hear many coaches, pump your arms faster to run faster. Well, you start pumping your arms faster, and I will guarantee you that it's going to miscombobulate your running. You're not going to be able to run very well. Try it. Go as fast as you can with your arms. It's going to disrupt your running terribly. So remember, arms will coordinate with the legs. The legs do the running. Arms have to be in sync with them to balance you and to assist in producing forward force during your run. When one leg is coming forward, the opposite arm is coming forward. When one leg is going back, the opposite leg is coming back, and so on. This is where we get the synchronization. But don't do it the opposite way. So in long distance running, you'll also find a little bit of opening up of the arms. But that's all right. That's fine. But the key is to maintain basically a 90-degree angle. See, they open up a little bit because it's only natural as the leg, especially the faster you're going. The faster you're going, it's only natural to open up the arm a little bit. When the leg is in full support, the arm is a little straighter. See, the arm is trying to straighten, but you're holding it at that 90. And you're holding it at that 90, or basically a 90-degree angle, mainly to economize on energy. Opening the arm up and closing the arm is very energy consuming. Maybe you may not think so, especially when you take a look at most long distance runners, but let's say over a marathon, that's a lot of work of opening the arm and closing it. Just stand in one place and straighten your arm and bend it, straighten the arm, bend it. After a while, that arm's going to get tired. So you want to maintain that angle for economy, not for efficiency. See, this is another example of proof, if you want, that the arms must coordinate with the legs. You don't want the arms going faster, because see, now we're changing a little bit of the arm action. So one other very important point when we think in terms of the arms, and this is where many coaches, I think, run into trouble. We keep preaching, move the arms directly forward and back. And yes, they should go that way. But it's rare to find a runner who does that. You may be shocked on hearing that, but it's true. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of films of athletes. I've yet to see one who held his shoulders perpendicular to that line of direction that he's running. There's all kinds of slow, little bit of rotation. Now, look at your arms. If your arms are in one position and you rotate your shoulders, duplicate this position where you're sitting, you'll be able to, or standing, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Hold your arms in the position as they are when you're running. Now, rotate your shoulders. Now move your arms back and forth. Now they're crossing the midline of your body. And yet they tell you to go straight forward and back. Well, they're going straight forward and back in relation to your body. But the body has rotated, or the shoulders have rotated. And this is what creates the crisscrossing, or a little bit of crossing, but it shouldn't be severe. If the hands are going all the way across, then that's a negative. You're wasting too much energy. But it's only natural to have a little bit of that shoulder turn. And this is what creates the hand's appearance of coming across the center of the body. But once they cross the midline, then that becomes a no-no. So, yeah, you do want some of that minimal shoulder rotation. The shoulder rotation is needed to keep the hips stable. Of course, the hips are going to be rotating, but when the shoulders rotate, they're holding the hips steady. And keeping the hips steady is more important than keeping the shoulders steady. Because when the hips are steady, what does that mean for the leg action? You're going to be driving the legs directly forward and back. But if you let the hips rotate, now you're crisscrossing with the legs. And this is what you don't want. But you can get by with the arms crisscrossing a little bit. See, that's another way of looking at the arms being subservient to the legs. They have to accommodate the leg action, not vice versa. See, and then there are exercises that you can do to prevent the shoulder rotation. This is what will keep the arms going straight and forward and back. And this is where it really kind of aggravated me sometimes. I've read articles when I do an analysis of a runner, or say we must change technique. And they used the example, I forgot it was one of the top American runners. They changed his technique because his arms he had terrible arm action, so they worked on his arms to change him, and he became a worse runner. I can believe that. If they forced his arms to go one way and his shoulders were going another way, it miscombobulated how the legs were going. So if you're going to make a change that's going to be effective. Understand why one action has an effect on another action. Each action does not happen on its own in space. Each one is related to another action. They all interrelate. And the arms interrelate to the legs. But the legs are the key actions. They're the ones that must be worked on, and the arms will accommodate them. There's much more, and we'll try addressing little aspects of this as time goes on. But if you want to read more information on it, read the second edition of Explosive Running. Quite a bit of information on that. And then as you do this, believe me, you'll see a difference in your running if you get those arms working effectively with the legs.